Hola, YouTube! Como esta? Yes, I am sarcastically speaking Spanish. I am not attempting to sound good at it. How's everybody doing? I'm going to do a little review for you here because what you see in front of you is on its way to the post office today. This is the 1/6 scale Medicom RAH R2-D2 figure from the Star Wars line. Pretty simple. The box looks like every other box. It's like a satin black, finish. You got the front here with the embossed Star Wars logo, R2-D2, Real Action Heroes, RAH, and on the side just says Star Wars. On the back it just has a little bit about the creative staff, things like that. Same thing on the side. Top looks a lot like that, and the bottom looks like that. Nothing too much going on. Ages 15 and up, it says here. That's a little ridiculous if you ask me, seeing as how this thing, there's really not much to it. It's just a plastic toy. Open up the front here, and you can see R2 inside the window. And it says R2-D2, a resourceful, spunky, adventurous astromech droid. R2-D2 has saved the day time and again. His little 0.96 meter tall frame is packed with all sorts of tool-tipped appendages that make him a great starship mechanic and computer interface specialist. Let's go ahead and get this guy open. I've had him on display for a little while. Actually, my wife did, because this actually belonged to her. And recently, this was sold on eBay to facilitate the purchase of a life-size, 1-to-1 scale Yoda figure, which is now in our possession, and a review will be coming soon. So, there's R2. You can see he's inside of a plastic clamshell type thing, and he's pretty easy to work with. You basically just pop the front of this off, and he just kind of sits in there. There he is. When I first opened this guy, I was impressed. He looks good. Don't get me wrong. The weathering on him looks great. The paint detail is a perfect 10. He's really a cool figure. I mean, even you can see in here on his legs all the little wires and painting and stuff like that. It's you can see the wheels on the bottom. That's how he rolls. But I mean, he's just the detail's great. The paint is awesome. I mean, you can even see on the front all the detail and stuff, and then on the head. So I mean, really cool figure. Now, here's the thing about R2. He does have some articulation. The bottom of his feet rotate, and then the actual legs rotate themselves on both sides. His middle foot does rotate, and it does retract into his body. It's actually spring-loaded. And then you just push it again, and it pops back out. So it's like a, you just kind of push it up in there, and it locks in. So you can also pose R2 standing straight up and down without the third foot out. He also does have head articulation. His dome does turn back and forth. He's got a pretty cool light-up feature, and the button for it is right here on the side of his optic scope. You push that, and he does light up on all the different ports. Here, the blue lights right here light up. They don't look very blue on the video, and then you flip him around, and he does light up on the back too, and he also does light up the one on the top. And they do stay lit up as you spin the head around, which is pretty cool too. So apparently all the wiring and stuff is in the dome so that the wires don't get twisted up when you turn the head. Really cool. The paint is a 10. The light up feature's great. Unfortunately, there's no sound chip with this guy. That would have been like a super winning feature if that would have happened. But here's the bad part about R2-D2. He is plastic, just like you would expect. I mean, you can hear it. He's just made out of hard plastic. He's painted hard plastic. and here's where the bad part of this guy comes in. He's about, oh man, I'd say about 6 inches tall. So there's not much to him, and you don't get C-3PO and R2 together. All you get is R2 for the low price of $200 plus, and that's the bad part. I understand that most of their figures come out at around $200, like the Boba Fett's and things like that, but I think Sideshow caught on to this with Yoda. You know, people want these figures, but at the same time, if you're going to spend $200 for a 1/6 scale normal human-sized figure with actual clothing and accessories out the wazoo and blah, that's one thing. But when all you get is a plastic R2-D2 with a light-up feature, there's no opening doors on him, there's no accessories, there's no nothing. What you see is what you get. A 6-inch tall painted plastic R2-D2 that lights up. And they didn't even come down on the price. Sideshow, when they know their figures are, especially like the troopers, which there's a lot of work that goes into all the armor and stuff on the troopers and all the accessories. You get like 15 different hands that come with them. You get multiple weapons. You get a stand. You get all sorts of stuff that go with those figures. And they're half the price of the Medicom figures, first off. But when they just released the 1/6 scale Yoda, the price on the Yoda was like $50 or $60 cheaper than what a normal figure would cost. Why? Obviously, because he's smaller, and there's not much that comes with him. And, you know, I think Sideshow really did a great job on the price point of Yoda by not charging people the same price for a figure that's half the size. Medicom obviously didn't get the memo. So, I mean, he is a great figure, and if you're one of those people that really is trying to complete your Star Wars 1/6 line, since Sideshow hasn't come out with one yet, at this point your hands are really kind of tied. I think Sideshow will come out with one eventually, but it's just a matter of when. Just like I'm shocked and amazed that Sideshow hasn't come out with a 1/6 scale Boba Fett or Jango Fett yet. Part of which I'm assuming is because they do market Medicom's toys and products, and they don't want to release a 1/6 scale Boba or Jango when Medicom just released a 1/6 scale Boba or Jango. But needless to say, I think everybody likes Medicom. I just think that the price point is a little too high for everyone, especially when Sideshow is putting out figures that are just as good or better for half the price. So I think everybody's going to kind of want to hang out and wait for the Sideshow stuff. Not to mention, Medicom's figures are just a tad smaller than what the true 1/6 scale is. If you put some of their figures up against Sideshow's 1/6 stuff, the size is just a little bit small. And here's another thing I wanted to show you guys. I actually went to a local comic book shop one day, and I found this guy. Look a lot alike, don't they? And I'll go ahead and put them in the same pose so you guys can see what I'm talking about. They're almost twins. Twins, Basil. There is a few differences. Obviously, the paint on this is nowhere near as good. There's some seams that you see from joints being put together. But this is the, I forget who makes the Star Wars toys, but this is the Power of the Force or whatever, R2-D2 that goes along with the 12-inch figures. Although the quality isn't as good, if you need a 1/6 scale R2-D2 and you have some painting skills, I bet you could make this look almost as good as that. Almost. Probably not the same, but it could look pretty darn close. And for me, this is fine. And this was only $20 at the local comic book shop. That's $225. So to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're looking for a 1/6 scale R2 and you're trying to wait it out for Sideshow to make one, just look up on eBay one of these guys and you can nab one for like $20 to $30 or something like that, as opposed to blowing your wad on a $225 Medicom R2-D2. So yeah, I mean, just, you know, when the price is already a bit of a boon, but then when you put this next to something like this, where a little bit of extra paint could make this, you know, just as good, I really think it's a no-brainer. Fantastic figure, A+++ on everything but the price point. I just really think for what you get, as compared to other figures, it should be a lot less. But anyhow, this is Hellspawn giving you a final review of the Medicom 1/6 scale 12-inch RAH R2-D2 figure.